Why am I reviewing Ant-Man for the Captain America movie? Well, A, because Sam appears in it for a few minutes. And then also because I'm going to have to review the second movie for Thunderbolts, so I might as well get this one out of the way as well. Ant-Man was released in 2015, directed by Peyton Reed, starring Paul Rudd, Michael Douglas, and Evangeline Lilly. And I really had no excitement for this movie going in back in 2015. I don't know why. None of the trailers just stood out to me. So, yeah. But 10 years later, almost 10 years later, what do I think about Ant-Man? Let's get into it. Starting off with the good, and there's just really a lot that I really liked about this movie. First of all, Paul Rudd as Scott Lang, or Ant-Man, is absolutely charming, absolutely hilarious. I love what Paul Rudd does with this character. I love Paul Rudd in general. So he was the one draw to this movie that I had. I'm like, oh, Paul Rudd is playing Ant-Man. I'm going to go see this movie because he's playing Ant-Man. But, yeah, I really love his arc from a reformed criminal to a full-on superhero at the end. Also, he's a great dad. Probably the best dad in the MCU. So, yeah, I really love Paul Rudd as Scott here. Then you got Michael Douglas as Hank Pym, and people who know their comics know Hank Pym is the original Ant-Man. And I thought that Michael Douglas did a really good job as an older Hank Pym. I thought that he brought a lot of charm and charisma to Hank Pym, and he brought a fatherly warmth to his portrayal of Hank Pym as Scott's mentor. I thought that that was really well handled, so I really did enjoy what they did with Hank's character in this movie. I thought he had a really interesting arc as well. Evangeline Lilly as Hope, she's okay. I mean, she's not great by any means, but she's still pretty good, and she does improve in the later Ant-Man movies, so I will stick her here in the good. She's not given a whole lot to do in this movie, but she's given enough to where it's still a pretty good performance, and she's got some pretty good chemistry with Paul Rudd throughout the movie, leading into the payoff with one of my favorite jokes at the end of this movie. So yeah, she's pretty good. I enjoyed her character for the most part. And then you got some side characters. First of all, you got Michael Pena as Lewis, everybody's favorite character in these movies, and everybody rioted when they found out he was not going to be in the third movie. But yeah, I really love Michael Pena as Lewis. He's absolutely hilarious. He's easily the funniest character in this movie. His storytelling ability is unrivaled. Yeah, I just love this guy. He's hilarious. I wish he was in the MCU more than just 2 movies. But regardless, love this guy. He's absolutely hilarious. Also got to shout out David Dastmalchian. He has almost a nothing role, but I always gotta shout this guy out every time he appears in something, because I've just been following his success story for years, and yeah, he's pretty fun in this movie. So yeah, I'll give him a shout out in the good section. Finally, you have Bobby Cannavale as Paxton, and he's kind of just the douchebag cop who's married to Scott's ex-wife. But I thought that he was a pretty good character for what he was given. I like Bobby Cannavale as an actor, and I did enjoy his banter with Scott. And seeing his relationship with Scott improve by the end of the movie from, oh, we hate each other, to, okay, we get along for the kid. Yeah, I really did enjoy what Bobby Cannavale brought to this movie. Then we move on to the story, and this movie was a nice change of pace for the MCU at the time, because ever since the first Avengers movie, every MCU movie up until this point felt like it needed to be a big world-saving event. And this movie just brought it back to being a simple heist film, which is something we never got in the MCU up until this point, was Ant-Man being hired to conduct a heist at Hank Pym's old company. And I really enjoyed the heist aspect of this movie. I'm a sucker for a good heist movie. Ocean's 11 is one of my favorite movies of all time. So, yeah, I really love how they handled the heist. I love how they planned it out. They pulled it out. They even have Sam Wilson show up for a cameo um, to fight Scott for some kind of part that they need for the heist. Yeah, I really, really love the entire story here. The humor here is absolutely terrific. I consistently laugh watching this movie all the time. And outside of Guardians of the Galaxy 2, I'd say this is the most effortlessly funny MCU movie to date. This and Guardians of the Galaxy 2, easily the funniest movies in the MCU, in my opinion at least. So yeah, I really love the humor here. I love the action sequences. All the shrinking effects all really work for me. All those scenes where he's communicating with the ants. The entire training montage that Scott goes through, really, really fun sequence of the movie. And like I said, the action sequences are really good. The final fight in the bedroom really utilizes the shrinking effects to a borderline epic level. I just love how they were able to do all of that. Also, the score here, really good. I love the score. Ant-Man's theme is really fantastic. So, points there. That's about all for the good. On to the bad. And one thing. I was not a fan of the villain, Corey Stoll as Yellow Jacket or Darren Cross. I just didn't care for this character. He just seemed a little one note. I'm not too familiar with Corey Stoll as an actor, so I can't really speak on his resume myself. But yeah, I just didn't care for Yellow Jacket, Darren Cross, whatever. And that's about all, though. So on to the final thoughts. I love this movie. I did not expect to love this movie almost 10 years ago, and 10 years later, it's easily one of my favorite MCU movies. Ant-Man is such a fun heist film. It's a great change of pace for the MCU, and I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. So that was my thoughts on Ant-Man. Have you seen this movie? Let me know down in the comments what you thought about it if you've seen it. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.